Hi, Georgia Sean and Swedish Joe here again.
Nice to see you.
We're trying today the Prairie Bomb. This is an Oklahoma beer. It's a monster. It's 13%. And what we've done is we've gone ahead and got our Prairie Bomb original, and then we got the Deconstructed pack, which is breaking the Prairie into the four main components outside, of course, of an Imperial Stout. So we have the Prairie Bomb, then we have the coffee, we have the chili peppers part, the cocoa nibs, and the vanilla. And so we're going to go through and sample the beer and then try and determine if we can really identify the distinct elements individually and in the combined beer.
Yeah, so let's get the show going. Oh, it's a very, very black beer. Let's do it right.
Very nice. So again, this is a Prairie Bomb, and it is out of Oklahoma.
And it has
Quite tan, almost brown head. This is just ink black. Oh wow, lots of aromas.
oh yeah.
Definitely the coffee hits you right in the face.
Coffee and chocolate right on.
Chocolate. There's that vanilla in there too.
Sure is.
The chili peppers are either hidden or subtle, because I'm not smelling the chili peppers. I'm sure they're there, but
I'm not really sure about how the chili pepper is supposed to.
let's
Smell.
find out.
Okay. Now the coffee hits you first.
And then the chocolate,
The
vanilla.
vanilla, and maybe a little bit of
Maybe.
sweet chili in
Maybe.
the very, very end, but not very distinct.
I think the coffee, the coffee is, if you had to break this out, I'm sure this coffee is, 50% of the extra flavor, whereas the rest are broken up in smaller and smaller
Yeah.
quantity. Not
Yeah,
shocking with
this
an
is-
Imperial Stout. That's definitely the roasty coffee,
Yeah.
chocolate. That's Imperial Stout 101. Well, let's not drink all this before we test it. So we'll go to the coffee.
Start with the coffee.
So the
The
Prairie,
most obvious one.
the Prairie Artesian Deconstructed pack gives us, again, starting with the coffee, chili peppers, cocoa nibs, and the vanilla.
Ah, that's right. Sorry.
We're gonna pour it all into one glass, and we're gonna go through and see if we can sample through it.
Let's save it for the later experiment.
Yes. The first dibs, sir.
Thank you. Whew. Espresso. This will wake you up in the morning.
Let's see how this breakfast ale works. Oh yeah, it's, what it smells like is, not just espresso beans, but those candied espresso beans,
Yeah, there's so much other malt in it too.
Oh, and if you look in comparison, this is still that brown head, but it's even, it's even kind of muddier.
Yes, it is.
Oh, it's so strong. It's almost coffee with beer added to it, as opposed
Yeah.
to beer with coffee.
Coffee with sugar, I would say. Because there's a lot of sweetness from the malt in it too.
Yeah. I'm gonna try it and compare it. It's amazing. This is, I mean, it's exactly what it says. Coffee, beer. This is so much more complex when you taste this coffee by itself. It just, I mean, it's just, again, coffee, beer, complex imperial stout. I don't even have to go through the rest of it to say they have done a magical job of mirroring this, because simply making an imperial stout and adding coffee to it, this is what this is.
Yeah, but that's an excellent coffee beer.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what it says.
Yeah,
Coffee, beer.
for sure. We're ready for the next
All
one.
right, let's move to the chili peppers.
This is gonna be exciting.
Now, I've had some chili pepper beer in the past. There's a few ones out there that are pretty well known, and I'll say that it's hit or miss. It's too much chili makes it a little, I don't know, just a little undrinkable in some cases. So I'm very curious to see the independent.
So go right ahead,
aspect.
taste it.
All right. So, quick commentary. This is a little less, muddy, as I said about the head there. Still that tan, still retains that same color.
Still pitch black, all of them.
Still pitch black. It smells more like beer than chili. Again, I don't know what I'm looking for because I can't remember.
Me neither, because I can't
chili pepper.
recollect that smell if it has any.
Now this one is, it's got some different flavor. The chili peppers are not inherent here. So I would say, at first taste, it just tastes like a stout with something else, and I mean, just nothing really jumps out at me.
Nothing. I thought it should have some kind of a bite to it, but it doesn't. It's just...
Yeah, it's simply put, it's just almost a sweeter version. Like this, the coffee was so strong here. Removing the coffee.
Remove the coffee, and there's what this is, I would say. If you remove the coffee from that one.
So, yeah, it'd be something like this, but again, I don't know, because they've obviously added some chili peppers to it, and it doesn't say much on the bottle about it. It just says aged on chili peppers. So what they've done is they've taken an imperial stout, which gives it some of that roastiness.
Must go back to the coffee. Just.
Try.
Because that is so distinct, and this is so vague, so you can hardly...
Exactly. Vague. Very, very good point. I mean, it is a stout. I mean, it's a stout, but
Yeah,
it's not very heavy because, again, you're expecting more coffee. But it's not a bad stout. It's
No.
just very vague.
None of it so far has been bad.
Let me try this again. Back to our original Prairie Bomb complete. This again, it's a really interesting phenomenon because you've got these two we've tried. In both cases, after trying them, these seem so simple and this seems so complex and so artfully crafted.
Good still.
Let's move on to our cocoa nibs.
Yeah, so back to the
Cocoa nibs.
cocoa nibs.
I'm excited about this one. Too. I do like my stouts to have a little sweetness hidden in the back, and I feel like aging it on these cocoa nibs is definitely going to provide that sweetness.
Oh yeah, it's sweet. Oh.
Oh, this is interesting because this is the first one I can truly smell the alcohol on. These Deconstructed are not as strong as the 13% Prairie Bomb, but they are still 11.8%. This is the first of those two Deconstructed that I can smell it. And in fact, I couldn't smell it on that one either.
Yeah, that's nothing with that.
Yeah, again, it's not a very heavy stout. For an imperial stout, it just comes real quick. There's very little coffee, very little roastiness. That sweetness is definitely just taking the bite completely out.
Absolutely. It's more like a milk chocolate than a dark chocolate.
Yeah.
Because it's so sweet and so round.
It's, I mean, and that's what's happening is it's rounding out and smoothing out that roastiness.
In everything.
In everything.
Yeah.
Try back to our base.
It's amazing. Because when you had these three so far, and as you said before, when they put together, it's a totally different thing.
It's a totally different beer.
Yeah.
This is the closest, again, it's still simple, but this is the closest to the end resulting taste.
Yeah, but you miss the coffee so much, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that first smell hits you with the coffee.
Yeah.
You don't get any of that with that.
Nothing.
But the sweetness exists in this complexity, more so than the chili peppers. And the coffee is just so overwhelming in the Deconstructed coffee that you can't get to that sweetness, so it just feels like a different beer completely.
It does.
Well, let's open that vanilla and finish the entire bomb.
Yep. And they all have the same pitch black color. Your turn, I think. Duck?
Not a very strong aroma at all.
Kind of strange. Vanilla has a very distinct aroma. I know it.
Flavor isn't very strong either.
No, it's pretty
mild.
Pretty mild. More like this one, I would say.
In fact,
Well, it is there.
It's there
after a while, but takes some time.
And it's a very mild vanilla. It seems like a very unfinished stout. I like vanilla, porters, vanilla stouts. I like the dark beer with the vanilla. I enjoy that, but this one feels unfinished.
Yeah, I think it is exactly the same with the vanilla and the chili pepper, because the sweetness takes over the rest, right? So it's very, very hard for me to feel anything like chili in that one. And, I mean, feel a little bit of vanilla, but not very much.
So I will say, when I go through these, this has the most distinct flavor that changes it.
The coffee, definitely.
It's connected, but it's so overwhelming. This chili pepper and this vanilla,
must be there somewhere. But
mild beers, everything else is overtaking them, as you said. They're just unfinished beers. This Cocoa Nibs is the one that tastes to me the most distinctively similar.
This one,
again, like you can taste what you're tasting. You go, okay, this is a Prairie Bomb. This one, it's probably a Prairie, but if you handed that to someone without telling them what it was, I think they'd be like, wow, this is just a super strong coffee beer.
Yeah.
This one, they'd be like, that sort of tastes like Prairie Bomb, I think.
Yeah,
These two,
if they had the Prairie Bomb, maybe, but I must also say, they're all excellent beers.
Yeah.
In some way.
I can't fault any of them. I mean, they're just simple.
Yeah.
The only one, again, that vanilla is the only one that to me was unfinished. So I would say that this one needed something. It needed some work. These three were independently different beers. You know, as I said, that one seemed similar to this, but the three of them could survive on their own. Just they probably wouldn't be ranked as high. Prairie Bomb, I believe Prairie Bomb's consistently ranked in the top 100 beers for the last few years. But when you taste the Prairie Bomb, especially after tasting it Deconstructed, it's a totally different level of beer. It's a complexity you haven't seen. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to have a little experiment. We're just going to take these 4 Deconstructed and reconstruct a glass of Prairie and then see how that compares.
Yeah.
So Joe's going to be the master mixologist.
Oh, let's see, because we really don't know the different amounts of these 4 beers that this one contains. So we're gonna try. Let's see what's happening. We'll start with the B for the coffee.
Good solid base.
Must be. Take the chili peppers. That's about the same amount, I think.
I think the risk is low. I mean, we know that it didn't have a strong chili flavor.
No. Cocoa nibs. Yeah. And we'll finish off with the vanilla. Shaken but not stirred. Isn't anything close to
Actually,
it is.
it actually is relatively similar. This is more refined,
Yeah,
but the flavor's not way off.
I think the coffee is stronger in this one.
Yeah.
I do.
Maybe top with a little vanilla and cocoa.
Let's see what happens.
We'll keep mixing and see what we get. Someone over at Prairie right now is watching this video, cursing our name and smashing bottles everywhere.
Bloody amateurs.
Exactly.
But we are. We're getting there. Actually getting there, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we might be almost there.
Yeah.
Well, we'll go ahead and take an effort to kill all this beer. It's a difficult job. Somebody has to do it.
Yep.
So, Georgia Sean and Swedish Joe saying cheers, and feel free to subscribe if you want to see more fat guys drinking beer.
Night time.